as soon as I met her, I was very impressed. I mean, I was very impressed with her online sort of demeanor, presence, all that kind of stuff. She seemed like she meant business. She was way more beautiful in person than she was actually in the photographs.
That's
She
all.
kept a very, hmm?
That's always a bonus.
It is, so she presented like fairly okay, but not great. And then she did say to me, well, if I'm too, it's not going to work. I don't want people that are just after me for my looks. I want a bit more depth.
So you are in a romantic relationship with this amazing woman. Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. I don't know if you can recall because so much has happened and so much
Yeah.
the bridge. But can you remember what was going on in your life just before the time when you decided to, uh, you know, engage with me and invest yourself in some coaching, and then
Yes.
started talking? What was going on in your life right before that?
Well, I just been dumped unexpectedly. So I was a bit shocked that someone who said that they loved me and acted like they loved me,
Hmm.
well, I thought so, suddenly would just cut and then be quite nasty about it too. And that sort of knocked me back.
So
You know,
you
you kind
felt,
of
how did
feel,
that make you feel? Like you'd been lied to or taken advantage of, or what was that? What did that?
yeah, all of that. I have had a lot of relationships where I felt afterwards that I have been taken advantage of, right? So, and that's a pattern. So I thought, gee, I'm always getting taken advantage of. I'm always being the nice guy and getting sort of used and abused, whether that be sexually or money, whatever, just or companionship.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt like that. I was giving more and then I was getting back. I thought I had to do something. And then I started dating, and I have no trouble finding people to date if I bend over backwards, right? But I was finding that the good ones would quickly just people would just go, oh, no, we're not working out. And I'd ask why, and they'd say, oh, well, I didn't think you were that interested. And I realized, oh, well, I was actually trying too hard to please everyone. I needed to actually just be a bit more aloof, a bit more assertive and a bit more, I need to be able to just churn through them and find the right one and be a bit more discerning. And that was the advice sort of I was sort of stuck. How do I do that? So now you successfully got me there very quickly because there are just a few things really that made all the difference. And I've always been sort of repressed, right? I had no idea I was good at anything because no one would ever say it. And if I said I was good at something, I would say, "Oh, you too. You should be more humble." Now I don't feel that. I just go, "Yeah, no, I am good." It transitioned at work, right? Very quickly. I just became far more in control and in command at work. I got motivated. I thought, well, been doing this a long time. I really know my shit. People should. So many people just ignored me and just went, around and just didn't take me seriously. And I thought, well, no, that's those times have changed. People got to take me seriously, and I'll make sure they do. If they don't, that's their problem.
The changes that you made, just so I can try to understand. So you were meeting these substandard women that would get in relationships with you and then dump you, and it was horrible. And
Yeah,
the women that you were interested in or wanted would overlook you. And then you also noticed, like after time a period of time, you realized that that was actually happening at work as well. And then you made
yeah,
these changes. You worked out like this is I've got to stop being a pushover. And then you made those changes. And what that did, it sounds like, is you found your deep confidence within yourself and your deep
hmm
belief and your own self worth and your own self esteem, which generated like a steam engine, this
mm.
power from within, where you're like, oh, shit, I don't need anyone else's approval or permission to be a great guy. I can just be a great guy.
Yeah,
What was amazing from my perspective watching you was that, like, how quickly, forget about the women. Like I think even the butterfly effect of this was to hear you just come back to me on a weekly basis and be like, I don't understand what's happening at work. Like
yeah,
I'm becoming more busy. Like people are respecting me. I'm getting more authority. I'm getting more responsibility. Getting more clients. All these things are happening, and work's just going kapow. So
yeah,
that was aside from the women's side of things, and then on top of that, so that was the work thing really started to blossom. And
yes,
then what happened after that? Then you met Deb.
yeah, yes. And I thought, well, she's way out of my league once I met her.
Who else or what else was being affected by what you were going through at that time?
I probably now have a much better relationship with my father, I mean, than I did before. Now there's a lot more respect from him, I think, for me than there was before. So that relationship's blossomed. I'm just a lot more comfortable with myself. Nothing phases me anymore because I feel a lot of love from a lot of people, right?
That's amazing. That's so good.
Yeah, so I think that's a big change. It's affected all my relationships everywhere, and there's a lot of people who I used to worry about and want to be friends with, and now I just don't care. The work, I'm very motivated now, right? Because I'm getting a lot back, and there's accounts now I just run myself, and everyone knows it. So I was saying, "Hey, you got to do this, you got to do this," and they go, "No, no, we're not doing that, no, no." And I go, "Well, you should," and that kept happening, and then suddenly it became very apparent they should have taken my advice, and then I was invited in at that point by the customer.
And so the change in you enabled you to go from someone that would give what turned out in retrospect to be perfect, amazing advice, but being overlooked. Correct me if I'm wrong, is that in all areas of your life, you just kept being overlooked. Your work,
Yeah.
the advice that you had to give. And what you've managed to do and create is to turn that around so that now you've gone from being the underdog that is overlooked,
Hmm.
the authority that everyone wants a piece of.
Yep. Exactly.
Say 6 months ago, before these changes occurred or you started working on all of this, how did you feel in comparison? Like, what was it like before? You say now you feel
Well,
happy. Were you?
it's very different. Very different. Yeah. I was talking to a guy last night. I said, "Oh, how many exes do you have in this club?" Because, I realized, hang on, he's got like several women that are around that he actually dated. He said, "Oh, three." And then he was saying, "Oh, they were lovely, but, it didn't work, but you know what I mean? He could do with your advice." I'm just thinking it's very common for us men to fall into that trap, right? Where we don't really know our value and other people can see it, right? But we can't see it ourselves, right? I guess my mother was influential. A lot of people are in making you be overly nice, and fit in and conform. And I've always been a victim of that. So now I just don't, I used to follow all the rules, you've got to do this. Now I just love breaking rules, I break rules left, right, and center. Just, oh, you're not allowed to do that. Oh, well, I am, we'll do this,
I love it. I mean, that's perfect, man.
I'm surprised we didn't get kicked out of the casino on Sunday. We did some awful, terrible things, Deborah and I.
You were fearless, courageous, and brave in facing yourself. That was the big thing for me. Like, what was the biggest thing what was the most uncomfortable thing that you had to look at within yourself and say, you can't be that anymore?
Well, the worst thing, I guess, is, yeah, being a yes man all the time. I think that was feeling like I was a yes man, feeling like I just agreed with everything, and didn't challenge things. I was a bit embarrassed actually about it. And also, yeah, just going out with people that were not to my standard, I could never really be with them because I didn't really feel that they were right for me, but I'd still go along to keep them happy or whatever, to not upset people. And you end up upsetting people anyway, right? So the marriage was like that, right? That's like a deep regret, I guess. So many people underrate me, Dan. And then I go, yeah, you don't know me.
If you think about where you were then and now, how does the future, the rest of your life look different? Like, what does it mean for you?
Yeah, it's a huge change. I love life so much now, Dan. I don't want it to end. I think that week that I was in Tasmania and Melbourne, which was unbelievable, was the best week of my life. Right? I can say that with confidence. I don't think I've had a better time than that. I just feel so relaxed about my job, where that's heading, just all my relationships. I just feel so much love. I feel like there's so much opportunity and growth still ahead of me. There's so many, every day I'm getting better. I've got the most beautiful woman who's just challenges me like all the time and just, shows a lot of love for me, actually. That my life is so good. So good. I just hope I keep my health and you know, I just don't want it to end. Yeah, reinvigorated. I guess I wish I'd done this years ago. because I'm
Would
a 57. I'm not young anymore.
would it be fair to say 6 months ago the future was bleak and uncertain, and now the
Yeah.
future is bright and desirable?
Yeah. Well, now I'm at the point. So even if I lost Deb, which is not going to happen, right? There's no chance of that happening anytime soon.
Love it.
Even if I did, right? That what I've got from that relationship, which can't be taken away, is a huge positive, right? And then of course we had the amazing sex on, and she'd sort of right up to that point said no one can give her an orgasm. It's never happened, never going to happen. No chance. And then again, I'm underrated. I sort of thought I can, oh, but no woman is immune from me. I can make it happen. And yeah, and it happened.
What's happened to the relationship with your immediate family, your kids? How has there been any positive changes there?
Yes, my daughter here and I get on much better. Yeah, she's doing really well. She's now working. Yeah, that relationship has gone strengthened. Yes.
Wonderful. What about the work that we've done together so far do you feel contributed to you being able to get to this new place in this new bright perspective?
Yeah. Well, well, you gave me lots of feedback on the way I spoke and being positive, and also lots of good reinforcement, right? Compliments and yeah, not apologizing, all that kind of stuff. That was really important. We did the analysis of when I met Deb. See, that was the only time I ever used that spreadsheet. I've never needed it since.
Well, that's a good thing.
It's that she was the one, right? Oh, and the other thing that was really important was, yeah, let them know that you've got other girlfriends, right? Don't hide that. That's a good thing. And my intuition sort of said it's a good thing, but everyone else is saying, oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, you can't have multiple. Oh no. And I'm like, yeah, I can. Yeah. Guys and girls are different. Yeah. No, I can have multiple. Yeah. Deborah loved that I had multiple. It helps having Deborah, who's like 10 times better than anyone I've ever had, right? Like she's just so much better, right?
That's what happens. Like guys that I work with all the time, they'll be meeting and dating women. They'll be increasing their volume of women they meet, and all of a sudden there's a standout, right? That just,
Yeah.
it's that one in a million that just pops up all of a sudden.
I,
That's because of the work that you did, Rod. Like
yeah.
that's the whole point. The work that you did, the changes that you made, created an energy and a vibe within you that made you able to receive that.
Yes. No, no, correct. No, I would never have dreamed of having someone like her, just even a couple of years ago. Seriously, I wouldn't have. Because now, like she commands the room. Like I said, she will walk into a room and everyone's looking at her and thinking, "What's she doing? Oh, look how well she's dressed. Look at how she knows everyone. She's milling around."
That is gold. And if you were talking to a friend or an acquaintance about your
Mhm.
journey over the last 6 months or since we met, how would you explain or share what it is that coaching is, or what it is that I do, in a way that they'd understand it simply?
I think it's really important to have a secret network of similar men going on a similar journey to, you know, to make you feel confident that you're not alone, and to make you feel like you're on this. You've got people in your team who can help you out and give advice and share experiences. I think that's really good. You don't want to be getting guidance from people within your world. Needs to come out so that it needs to be confidential. When you start taking advice and getting advice from your loved one or whatever, then I mean you can't, right? It's about them, not you can't get it from them. And the same with your family, right? They're not going to understand that you can't talk about these things with anyone else. So it's really good to have people who are peers, right? But are outside your world, that don't interfere with your world.
And what would you say to a man who is at a point in his life where he's like, there's got to be something better, but he's unable to commit himself to taking action to make the necessary changes?
I would say, look, it's surprising that little things can make a big difference. Small changes. Most of us have got a lot of power innately in us, right? It just needs to be unlocked.
Yes.
Like for me, yeah, I had a lot of confidence in myself, underneath, right? I'm good at a lot of things, I thought, but it was always repressed, right? So it's just become unlocked, and just a bit of more awareness, right? It's just a bit of awareness and support, having the support there. The the thing about, losing weight and having someone say, "You're doing great," look at that, yeah, do that, yeah.
Rod, this is gold, and it's actually very what you've done and the work that you've done and the changes that you've made are very, very impressive. Loved your story so far today. Talk soon.
Thank you. It's good. Thanks for all your help.
Bye.